All right. In the interest of not having us here until 8, we're going to get started with the boards. Feel free, as we're talking, to continue to get up, go get food, okay, do whatever, but we're going to go through modified stuff. We'll go through varsity stuff. We both coaches have some stuff to hand out, and then you guys will be on your way. Before you leave, modified parents, a bunch of us got some extra shirts. I'll be handing the girls their shirts. Before you leave, make sure you get, if you ordered extras, come get them from me, okay? So, I need a mouse. I'm just going to do a quick overview of the modified season, and then we'll get into it. So, we did some preseason stuff. Over the summer, and we didn't have a huge turnout. We didn't have the numbers that we've had in previous years of 15, 16 girls. And then all right. And then we finally got in the water on like the second day of school, and myself and Mr. Hillis Mrs. Hillis and Mr. Starks would look at each other and realized we had our season cut out for us. We had a lot of girls that didn't know how to swim with their faces in the water. We had a lot of girls that refused to go off the blocks. We had a lot of girls that really couldn't swim for more than 30 or 40 seconds at a time without being winded for 5 minutes. So, coming off of the very competitive season we had last year with this year's 9th graders doing a lot to help out that team, we sort of came into the season with a lot different expectations. It was going to be focused on skills building, focused on basics, focused on learning strokes. And we started getting into it, and they sort of started picking it up a lot faster than I expected and I hoped, and we started to get some yards in. And then they started bothering me. How come we're not trying to go undefeated this season? I want to go undefeated. Last year we went undefeated. Why can't we go undefeated? I don't want to learn. I want to win. So we had this sort of mid-season shift around sort of what we were attempting to do with this team that coming in wasn't that competitive. Okay? We didn't really have the numbers. The math behind swimming scoring is confusing at best and a nightmare in any other description. Ideally, you want 14 kids. We didn't have 14. We had 11 or 12, depending on the week. And those 3 kids make a huge difference in terms of how many points you can earn in a meet. So we decided as a team, this is what we're going to go after. And we got our foot in the door that first meet. The majority of our team were brand new to swimming. We only had 4 returning swimmers from last year's team on a roster of 12. And I think a lot of girls were really pleased with how things went. Everybody's always nervous. Even the varsity girls, you'll remember your 7th grade meet. Your first meet in 7th grade, and everybody's nervous. Oh my gosh, what do I do? What happens? What if I don't win my race? There's always crying. Okay? And we went in, and we had a super successful meet against Oneonta, who ended up being a major hurdle later in the season. And we knew that as soon as we got the results. They DQ'd all the way down, and their coach made some interesting decisions in terms of who they put in what events. And we knew that we weren't going to get that free win later in the season. So we sort of got in the water. We grinded it out for a couple weeks. We had this huge head-to-head match with Oneonta. It came down to the last relay. Some of you have been on a deck with me before when it comes down to the last relay, and it was a winner-takes-all situation. 2nd place in the relay doesn't matter. 3rd place in the relay doesn't matter. It's about who touches the wall first, and then we smoked them by 11 seconds or something, and it felt real good. Last time, that was not how history tells that story. So it was a nice comeback. We ended up finishing the season undefeated. A big transition. And now we have some of our swimmers moving on to varsity next year. We'll address that as we get to each swimmer's individual accolades in a second here. But it is worth, with everyone here modified in varsity, worth having a quick conversation about sort of expectations on varsity, because myself and Coach Hillis and Coach Starr have been having this conversation between the 3 of us a lot. It is worth remembering, first of all, as 7th graders, there's not much in the general Binghamton area in terms of involvement at the little kid level. You don't have a lot. There are some, but there is not a major involvement of kids that start swimming like they do soccer, like they do football, like they do baseball, lacrosse as a little kid. So everyone's worried when they come in 7th grade, I don't really know how to swim. Neither does anyone else, and that's okay. We all start with a fresh slate, and we build from that. We work harder than other teams. We're in here on Saturdays. I don't take days off, and neither does the team. And it showed. Okay? Okay, Sundays don't count. But it showed. And, you know, we earned our status this year. And then moving forward, you go up to varsity. There is no JV. You were a 9th grader in the pool with 17, 18-year-old girls that are just bigger than you. They've been swimming for a lot longer than you. And then there's still this expectation of like, I'm not that good, and it's okay. Right? We build, we get better. There is no platform, there's no level between modified and varsity, and despite that, we had a lot of our varsity team that Star will talk about later end up making top 16. Okay? I think every 9th grade swimmer in the room tonight went back for finals. That's huge. And again, that is the exception to the rule. That rarely happens. You look at that printout with every girl's name and their year, and it's SR and JR all over the place. Not a lot of sophomores and freshmen that make top 16. So, you know, for our modified kids, that's something to keep in mind. It's not the expectation that you are competitive at the varsity level when you start. It's something we accomplish over time. And at the end of the evening, we will bring back up this club swimming team. Okay, we used to have KGO. KGO isn't a thing anymore because we shut it down in anticipation of starting construction on a new pool several years ago that we're still waiting to start building. But in the meantime, you go across the bridge and CB has 5 coaches that most of them have been coaching for almost as long as I've been alive. They've got an incredibly talented and dedicated staff of 5 coaches over there that do club for like 8 or 9 months a year. So for those of us that wrap up this season and we say, now what? There's not that many options in this winter for girls. You got basketball, you got bowling, indoor track, oh, those are varsity only, and you have cheerleading, and that's it. And if those aren't your sports, what do? You can look into going to club. It's not free, it costs some money, but it costs a fair amount of money. That said, you know, I know we have a lot of kids in this district that do travel soccer, travel hockey, travel lacrosse, and the amount that swimming costs is a drop in the bucket compared to those. So, you know, we're thankful that CV lets us be a part of their program. Okay? And it is definitely worth it, in my opinion. It ends up being like $2 a day for 2 hours of babysitting for your kid. So, something to consider. Okay. With that, let's get into individual modified results. So when I call your name, you guys can come up. You'll get an award. You'll get a shirt. I'll say a little bit about you, and then that'll be that. Where did Liam go? Okay. Our first award is for Callie Marsh. So come on up. Okay. Callie wins the Short Race Specialist Award. Callie's claim to fame has always been, put me in a 50, put me in a 100, for the love of God, please don't put me in anything longer than 100 yards, I will drown. So she gets that award. Something that you're going to see for every swimmer up on the screen is sort of where they started at the beginning of the season and where they ended. Callie has some special green numbers up there because as a returning 8th grader this year, Callie swam last year. The times in green were 16th place at prelims for varsity, meaning that if your time is faster than that, had you been on varsity, you would have gone top 16. Callie accomplished that in the freestyle. I should mention that that time, with 30.01, she's been working to break 30 seconds all year. Get it next time. She also didn't swim that swimming for our team. Some of you got to witness her pull a little Benedict Arnold and swim for Johnson City and decided to swim the fastest time she's ever swam while swimming for the enemy. So we thank you for that. And your teammates really like that you took their relay win away from them. Here's your shirt. Okay, Callie also incredibly successful in the 100 back. We have this habit of pumping out backstrokers from the modified level. Callie's super good. We've got several more backstrokers we're going to talk about tonight. In 7th grade, she made a top 16 time in backstroke. And then she repeated that this year, dropped 6 seconds. And then her 100 IM, sort of surprised that we ended up swimming this year. Callie was originally a 50 freestyle and a 100 backstroker, and then we realized like she's actually got a pretty clean IM. Okay, she ended up toying around with the idea. I know Coach Starr's happy about that. We started toying around with the 200 IM in practice right at the end of the meet. There is no 100 IM varsity time because that event doubles in distance at the varsity level, but if you take that time in half, Callie makes it. So now you just need the endurance to hold that pace for twice the distance. So great work this season. Really happy with how you did. Congratulations. Up next, we got Mia. Mia wins the Snap and Clap Award. Mia loves to be dramatic in a great way. She's always animated. She came in this year as a first-year 7th grader. We had a lot of work to do with Mia's stroke at the beginning. In time trial, she was going around 50 seconds, and by the end of the season, we broke 40, and that's a huge milestone for new swimmers. Mia was another person that played around a lot with backstrokes. You can see 50 and 100 backstroke for races she did. In time trials, she was physically unable to complete a 100 backstroke, and by the end of the year, she was under 2 minutes, which again is really working really good. So, great season. Here you go. Up next, we have Caroline. Every year, I give out the Dory Award to whoever swam the most yards in competition. Okay, this was like not even close. Caroline swam the 200 every single meet. She swam a 100 every single meet. She swam a 50 every single meet. The max number of yards you could swim in our season was 1,750, and she swam 1,700. So, got in there, put in the yards, was really successful, found a home in the 200 free when the rest of the team all was like horrified of this event. Despite swimming thousands of yards every day of practice, 200 is apparently way too much to ask. So she dropped like almost a minute from her time trial time, which was huge. Okay, found a place in the breaststroke as well, really close to that 2-minute milestone that we're excited. Same thing with the 40-second milestone in the 50. We are, we're going to hit the water next year, and we're going to break those immediately, and then we're going to go from there. So great season. Up next, we have Jillian Howell. She gets the Caterpillar Award. This is an award we give to someone who sort of learns to do butterfly during the season. So she started as a caterpillar and ended up as a butterflyer. Jillian was like our go-to. We need someone in the fly. We don't have a lot of girls that can swim the fly. We got to put. You get to stay up. We got to put someone in just so we have bodies in that event.
Yeah, bodies in the fly.
I know you're excited about that. So Jillian really worked on her butterfly time. We're getting down close to a minute, and then in the 50 free, she dropped almost 10 seconds from the start of the season as well. So great job this year. Up next, we have Sophia. Is Sophia here? Oh, there you are. Perfect. Just in time. Okay. Sophia was another butterflyer for us this season. We had a lot of things going on throughout the season with a lot of people, between quarantining, between transportation, between other issues. I'm really happy we were able to put together 12 people. But Sophia was one of those people that couldn't be at practice all the time, but always found a way to show up to meets. And I would like to, thank the parents who were able to help us with that in terms of providing transportation. Really, really happy that she was on the team. She did butterfly whenever she was there for us. We, again, really needed those butterflyers this year. So most of the time we put people in the butterfly and they're like, please never do that again. And Sophia's like, if you don't put me in the butterfly, I'm going to be really upset. And I was like, say less, right?
Yes.
So she got to swim it in a relay. She got to swim it in the individual event. Lots and lots of butterfly this year. Really happy with how we did in the 50. We're continuing to chip away at that time. Something you guys, maybe even new parents who are new to 7th grade or 8th grade swimmers who haven't been here before, as these times get lower, it becomes progressively harder to chip away at. To the point where you can have a season where across 2.5, 3 months you drop a second or two. Okay, so we're happy that we were able to drop a huge chunk off from our butterfly and then also whittle down our 53 times. So great job this season. Up next we have Jalen. Okay, Jalen was our jack of all trades this year. We're sort of going through the spreadsheet of, who had what time in every event, and Jalen's got times in everything. She swam some backstroke every once in a while. She swam some breaststroke every once in a while. She swam some butterfly at practice once, and I was like, perfect. You can do all four. Welcome to the IM. And she was like, I don't know how to swim the IM. Welcome to the IM. No one knows how to swim the IM until the first time. So we went out there. We started with just under 2 minutes. This wasn't even a time trials time. This was halfway through the season. And over the course of the next couple meets, she dropped 16 seconds, which is huge. Okay, 1:39 is a great time for a 7th grader in the IM. Also dropped chunks of time in the 50 and the 100, and was able to sort of fill any role we needed in a meet. We only got one person swimming this. Who else can we put in? Let's put in Jalen and see what happens. Rarely got disqualified. Even toyed around with diving for a little bit. Never ended up diving in a meet, but maybe something to look at in the future. So great work this season. Up next, we have Jules. Jules was our sort of token new 8th grader this year. Every year, I sort of have the students in 7th grade, and I talk about swimming, and I talk about swimming, and I talk about swimming, and then I'll sort of try to pick out some kids that aren't doing much in the fall and say, why don't you come swim? Well, I don't know how to swim. I don't care. Come swim. And Jules was like very dedicated to basketball, but we convinced her to swim. Ended up doing a lot of diving for us this year, which is great. Did some swimming, freestyle, and breaststroke mainly. Her award is about her goggles. We spent, I deal with goggles that don't fit a lot. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I took off my goggles and they don't fit in the middle of this really difficult set. What an inconvenience. And that was not the case with Jules. It's like every day, no matter what we did, they were leaking water. And I couldn't figure out why. The goggles weren't broken. They were brand new. We tried tightening them, that didn't work. We tried loosening them, that didn't work. Then we finally, the second to last meet of the season, this is like a daily thing, trying to figure this out. We had other people lending her goggles. We tried different styles, sizes, all this. Second to last meet of the season, they're not leaking water. And then before the last meet of the season, they broke. We finally got them working for one meet, and then they broke. And so we patched together a little bit of your old pair and someone else's old pair and got it to work. Jules came through and did excellent diving this year. Really, really got up there and shown 9? I don't know. Did well. Okay. Started out again at the beginning of the season not having 4 dives. And then by the end, getting close to that 100-point benchmark. Excited to see what happens if you continue to go in varsity. I hope you do. I'm really happy that you came to us as an 8th grader, because every year those 8th graders we get that didn't swim in 7th grade do a large part of the lifting on our team. So great work this season. Up next, we have Skylar Stasek with the #Skylar Says Award. The stream of consciousness that constantly pours out of her mouth could easily make any one of us famous if we just uploaded it on the internet. I never really know how to handle some of the things she says. It's just an adventure every day. I'm really happy that we had Skylar on the team this year. She's a returning 8th grader. Came in with some swimming experience. Already knew all 4 strokes in 7th grade. Came back in 8th grade and sort of carved herself out to be a 200 swimmer and an IM swimmer. And then all of a sudden, she ended up in the 100 breast, because last year, honestly, we had some really good current 9th graders in the breaststroke, and I sort of forgot to make someone in Skylar's grade a breaststroker. So we started the season, I was like, we have approximately 0 people that can do breaststroke right now. So Skylar filled that role for us. Then I let her swim freestyle once, and she was a self-proclaimed full-time freestyler now. But then found herself back in the breaststroke at the IM not too long after that. Skylar was again that girl where it's like, we need a win in this event. Who do we put in? Okay. And we throw Skylar in there and see what happens. Especially in that meet versus Oniana, she pulled out a clutch win in the 100 breaststroke that meant a lot to us. There are 10 different places in that meet where you can say, if our girl lost that one race, we lost the meet. And the breaststroke is a 4-point swing, and we won by 3. So that's it, right? Really, really happy with how you did this season. Excited for what things look like for you on varsity next year. Skylar, again, there isn't a 100 IM in varsity, but if you take her time, it is faster than half of 16th place their split time in section. So if we can hold that pace, and Skylar can hold that pace better than anyone on the team, you might be able to, as an 8th grader, be making that cut time. Skylar was that kid that would just come into practice and swim the 500, and no one really knew why. Be like, why don't we warm up? And she would just keep swimming. Be like, can someone stop her? And we would have people go chase Skylar, and she would just keep swimming. So I know you can do distance. And where'd Star go? Where'd Star go? She can do distance. FYI. Okay, so excited for what varsity holds for you. She can also sprint bike. So, an asset to the team by the way. So great. Okay. reference here. She has to defend every day to the 7th grade to the team that she's not actually a leprechaun. And no one believes her. I think the mask doesn't help. I know.
It is nearly Thanksgiving.
That said, that's not the only reason she's getting this award. She was literally sort of like the gold nugget in terms of kids we pulled out from 6th grade and tried to convince to swim. She came in and couldn't do 50 backstroke at time trials. Could not complete 50 yards. By the end of the season, she's a few seconds off from 16th place in the varsity time as a 7th grade swimmer. So that's huge, right? We know that we've got a dependable backstroker on day 1 of next season. She's also an accomplished sprint freestyler, dropped 12 seconds in that race. Is getting close to that like 35-second milestone that very few swimmers on our team this year beat. And she had, 0 competitive swimming experience before the start of this season. But got in the pool every day, put in the yards, did the drills, playing the whole time, and ended up getting really fast. So, really happy we're on the team. Look forward to next year. Great job this season. A good chunk of our team is kind of obsessed with Harry Potter. And heading them all off is Alexis, who I know some of you don't really get this conversation, but insists she's not a Slytherin. That said, I mean, the glances that come from behind the mask worry us a little bit, shooting daggers with the eyes. And she doesn't mean to. She can be happy. And then you also sort of fear for what she's going to do next. No one really knows. So she's definitely an undercover Slytherin. Really, really happy with Alexis this year. She came into 7th grade having swam club. So she walks in and says, I can swim 4 strokes and I can do 38 seconds in the 50. Cool. Let's go from there, right? We whittled down at the 50 time, got 34 seconds, 0.00. So that's where we're going to try to pick up next year. Swam a fair amount of the 200. I didn't have that up there, but she did a lot of 200s at the start of the season. And then when we realized we've got plenty of people that can swim 200, I need someone that can really just push 100 yards sprint pace. Lexi was our go-to girl, okay? In addition to that, she also did a bunch of diving for us this year. Missed out on that those nice scores that they were giving out the last meet because you were out of town. So I'm sure, if we really tried, we could easily beat this score next year if we continue diving. That said, every day when she would be like, can I go dive? A little part of me was like, no, please keep swimming because you're really fast, right? So, in true of all of our divers this year, it was heart-wrenching to watch them abandon our practice to go dive off the board because I need them to score points in swimming events too. So it's really exciting that she dropped this much time considering really how few yards she was able to actually put into practice because she spent so much time over on the diving board. It definitely helped though. We had 4 great dives by the end of the season. Really excited about that, so great work this season. Okay. Up next we got Melanie Robinson. Melanie wins the Better Late Than Never award. It was not until probably 2/3 of the way through the season that no, it wasn't until 2 weeks until the end of the season that Melanie decided that jumping off the blocks was finally something she was willing to commit to. She, by the way, she did it the first week of practice. I would like to go on record and say I saw her do it.
No, you're lying.
Okay. I saw her do it, the team saw her do it, and then she insisted that this was no way anything she was ever going to do and had never done, and by no means was ever going to do it again. Okay? We worked on it constantly. Jumping off the blocks is the fastest part of your race. The minute you hit the water is like 600 times more resistant than air. She can be in the air, that's really preferred. Finally got a start just in time for Omiana. Okay? Meant a world of difference in that meet. That is the difference between having a purple shirt and not. Okay? In addition, Melanie came in with a 50-second 50 freestyle and dropped 14 seconds almost to get down to the mid-30 range. To the point where the first time I saw her split come through in a relay when she went off the blocks, and the split came in and was like 38 something, I was like, oh, there was an error with the timing system. Melanie didn't go 38. And then I went back and watched the video and I was like, oh my God, Melanie went 38. Right? When did that happen? So super exciting. Also got a really competitive 100 freestyle time this year. And did throw in a couple 200s there at one point. Again, starting the season as someone who's really let me do 50 yards and take a break real quick and catch my breath. So really excited that she was able to race the 200 a few times, and excited for what we can do next year. Okay, maybe branch out into some other strokes, or just be our dedicated sprint freestyler, because we always need one. So great job this season. Up last, I don't know if she's watching the stream, we have Izzy Wilcox. Izzy can't be here tonight, but she wins the Best Teammate / Emotional Support Animal Award. Izzy is beloved amongst her teammates. The number of people I had come to me over the past week and say, Healthy, what are we going to do? Izzy can't be at the banquet. Really shows how much she meant to this team. Okay, we had tough days, we had tough weeks. Izzy was always there helping people with whatever they were going through. Didn't skip a lot of yards at practice, just put her head in the water and swam. Okay, Izzy started out as, a freestyler. Last year, that was basically the limit of what she could do. By the end of the season, she was doing the IM, which shocked me, shocked her, for sure. I put her in it one day, and she was like, that's not a thing I can do. And then she went out there and did it. Really a testament to what hard work at practice can end up doing for you. Was sort of the glue that held our team together on those days when we were grinding out those yards and morale was low. So we were definitely really, really lucky to have her return this year as an 8th grader. I'm hopeful that she continues on varsity next year. So great season for Izzy. He's sort of staring at it up here, but Liam was our team manager this year. He's one of the guy swimmers that swam for me for 2 years. He's now in 9th grade, but sort of, I guess, didn't get enough modified swimming, so wanted to come help out with middle school girls. And explain to you the rationale there. Okay? No one on earth wants to ride a bus with a bunch of middle school girls. For an hour to Oneonta and an hour back. And Liam's like, I volunteer as tribute. So Liam came in, he was filming races. He was constantly sitting there with the clipboard, taking down notes as I'm just talking out loud at meets. He's helping backup time. He's doing all sorts of things that I'm just too busy as one person to do at a meet. And having that body on the deck at meets and at practices, at time trials, makes a world of difference to how efficiently we can run things and how logistically much simpler it is having someone help out. So really, really thoughtful. I know the team gave you a hard time the whole time, like who's this and why is he here? But I'm really glad you were. Great work. To wrap this up, we have some awards we give out every year. Okay, to people that sort of went above and beyond. Okay, so first of all, Melanie gets the Most Improved Swimmer Award. We talked about dropping 14 seconds in the 50. The huge amount, get up here, huge amount of progress we made in terms of just basic skills. Starting off not being able to swim with our head in the water, not being able to jump off the blocks. That's half of our team. We walked in September and I was like, oh no. I always tell the 6th graders as sort of part of my sales pitch, you don't need to know how to swim. It's fine. Just show up and I'll teach you. This was the first year where the majority of the team took that very literally and showed up not knowing how to swim. I know I said it. I didn't expect I don't know how to put my face in the water and not know how to swim. Dropped 14 seconds, and again, I just want to iterate that our last meet of the year, okay, Melanie had continually chipped down into times. We put her in a 50 freestyle, and she went from going 50 seconds at the start of the year to getting first place in the 50 in our last meet. So really, really happy with that. Okay. Up next, we have Alexis gets Rookie of the Year. Okay, I know I already mentioned this. Alexis came in with some club swimming experience, so calling her a rookie isn't necessarily fair.
Yeah.
That said, when I'm sitting down at the end of the season and tallying up points, out of every new swimmer on the team, Alexis had the most, and she missed a meet, so it could have been more. Okay, was just competitive coming in. Really is just more of an example of why I stress the importance of whether it's club swimming, something structured, whether it's getting a membership at the Y and getting in the water out of season, the difference it makes. If we all got this much faster in 2 months, imagine where we'd be if we swim year-round. And we don't have to. We have a lot of swimmers that swim year-round, and so do other teams, and it's no surprise that they're putting up the times they are. this is one of those sports where time in is very, very obviously measured by success. You ask famous people, they did a spotlight on Katie Ledecky in the Olympics. You know, Katie, why are you so fast? I'm in the water on Christmas. I swim 8 hours a day. We're not looking for that level of commitment in Chenango Forks, but, you know, obviously getting in the water outside of our 2 months a year makes a difference. And Alexis came in, was competitive the whole season, racked up points for the team, and was a huge part of our core on why we had the success we did. So congratulations. Not the only rookie. Again, I already mentioned this, so I won't spend too long on this, but Jules was a 8th grader that came in, was highly successful. Continued to score points in diving, did well in the swimming events we had her do as well. Really, really happy with how you did, so congratulations. Again, at the end of the season, I sit down, I calculate a lot of stuff. Who swam the most yards, who scored how many points, this, that, the other thing. And it was actually very competitive in terms of who scored the most points. I was kind of surprised, okay? But by the end of the season, we're sitting there, Callie got Callie lost one race all season, okay? It was in a meet where I changed her event 2 minutes before she swam it. So is it fair that she lost it? Not necessarily. If I had left her in her event, she would have gone individually undefeated all season. And then I yanked her out. We're looking down. We're halfway through the 200 at the Oneonta meet, and I'm like, we got to have you in the IM. Like it's 10 minutes into the meet. I'm trying to predict what the other coach is going to do. We need these points. Okay. It was a super close meet. I stand by my decision. I know Callie's upset because if I hadn't made that switch, she wouldn't have lost a race all year, including swimming against her own team on the Binghamton relay. Also, Skylar was on that relay, so why don't you come up here real quick, because I have an addition.
Wait, what is this for?
So Callie earned 67 points this season, which I know sporting and swimming is confusing, but that's a lot. Okay, really great job. When I was sitting down with the team before our last meet, we knew Binghamton had 2 girls, and we offered to let them, JC had 2 girls, and we offered to let them borrow 2 of ours for a relay. Now, we've done this 3 years in the past. Twice with the girls team, once with the boys. Every time we do it, the swimmer, every time, swims faster on the other team's relay than they ever have for us. Which is fine. I'm not hurt, but I told them, you know, either our relay of 4 wins, or the JC relay with 2 of our girls wins, and whoever wins gets a gift. Okay? And I offered to, no, that's okay. I offered to give them milkshakes. They're both lactose intolerant, so that wasn't a great idea. But we put them on the other team. Johnson City didn't really know what they were getting. They just knew they were getting 2 girls. They didn't know that they were getting our fastest 2 girls. So Johnson City's 2 girls go out in this relay. They're significantly behind. Our first 2 girls built a huge lead, like 25 yards. They're on the other end of the pool. And Skylar gets up on the blocks, and I'm having this little pep talk behind her, like, you got to close this gap.
And then you were talking to others.
You got to close this gap. And then I walk over to them, and I'm like, don't let Skylar close the gap. And Skylar gets in the water, and is smaller distance, smaller distance, smaller lead, smaller lead, smaller lead. Callie goes in. You know, could have broken 30 seconds if she didn't belly flop pretty hard off the blocks. It's fine. Callie blows past our team on the way back in the last 25 yards. Wins the relay for JC, so you guys both get gift cards to Sonic to go get some non-lactose drinks of your choice. Okay, so great job this season. I know I mentioned it was competitive for that MVP spot. Skylar was only a few points behind Callie, so
that
you
was
can
so
look that over her. Okay.
It's not even fair. I didn't swim it after like half the year. Sit down.
So that's my pitch. Thank you guys so much. Coach Elfly has something to say about the divers.
Our diving group was quite an interesting group. No, this is not a diving group. Yeah, I know. As Thompson was saying, in the sense of the girls who had to be taught how to swim, it was the same thing with the diving, and just basically jumping off the board first and then trying to do a front dive in the second. But those girls were down there every day. They were down there at least an hour, if not more, and it get out of the pool, they get up there, they keep on trying, and this team definitely had huge hearts, and we definitely had some success, and they were a lot of fun to work with, and we're going to see if we can get some more guys next year. So we made a big improvement this year, and it's just going to keep on getting better each year, but it was a lot of fun. So for my 5 divers, stand up. We had our little kids that came down, and these girls would, like I said, they put their heart into it. So nice job, ladies. Excellent job. Okay? Excellent job with your girls. You ladies, no matter where we go, what we do, you girls are polite. You girls are ladies. You girls show your manners. And I feel very proud that we're from Chenango Fort. Now, somehow something changes from 8th grade going into 9th grade. Actually, the 9th graders, you girls are still okay. It's the next. You don't see it behind my age. Oh. Yeah.
That's enough award.
That's something that we are going to work on in regards to the varsity etiquette. So we can get that ladies, you know, the ladies devils back in there, and sometimes we can get a little silly, as you can tell over here. And sometimes we need to tell you ladies that we're actually in charge, and so girls are definitely a challenge. I think my parents, every day, they had 4 teenagers. And we were 6 years apart, and we're all girls, and I don't know how they did it, because I tell you what, I just, well, we were saints, because I know we weren't, and I know you girls aren't. So, you definitely make, I'm just busting you just because you girls are definitely a challenge. But, I buy you bagels and pizza, and I take care of you girls and lollipops, and we are a family. There's no doubt that the modified and the girls varsity, that we are a family. You guys might be a little more well behaved than these guys, but we're still family, and
we're learning. We are learning.
It'll be amazing when Marissa gets to be a senior next year.
Yay!
I tell you what, you are now on camera for a long time, but you've really grown on me. Wow! All right, like I said, I'm kidding aside.
A little bit.
But yeah, we have a lot of big hearts on this team. We have a lot of fun on this team. Sometimes we're a little on the unstructured side, but there's no doubt that there's a sisterhood here, and there always has been, and I think it's getting even stronger. And like I said, I see both teams, and I'm busting you, and you girls.
I don't like how much you're looking at me. Yeah, I don't like it either. A little offense here. Yeah, this is a little. You're squinting too much to tell who you're looking at. Yeah.
On that note, I want to have Julia come on up, please. For those that do not know, Julia is our exchange student from Italy. And when we found out that she was coming to our school and that she had swimming background, we sought her out. And so we recruited Julia to be on the team, we were very excited. The girls were excited. And then we found out that Julia doesn't like to compete. She's like, I didn't even compete when I was in Italy. So Julia did an awesome job coming to practice, supporting the girls, being a part of the team. She just didn't be a part of she wasn't in the competitive end of it. Just didn't want anything to do with that. But I just wanted to thank Julia. We wanted to thank Julia for being a part of the sisterhood, and I hope you can bring some of this back to Italy and share your experience, hopefully with the girls, that we didn't scare you too much. And guess what we found? The missing pictures. We've been looking for these pictures now for about 2 to 3 weeks, and just found out that Coach Stein had them on his desk. So
I knew right where they were.
yeah. And you get to take your banner back home and show everyone at home the program that we had here, which this is a beautiful picture of you, by the way. And I think it was awesome that you came and you were with us and a part of our team, and we're a part of your experience here in the United States. So.
Now it's time for me to sing.
Oh, fine. Time to leave, guys.
Everybody else.
You're lucky.
Taylor, why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah. Are you scared?
Right. So, I get Coach Helen down again, and then I get to handle all these other lovely ladies. Okay, and yes, they are a handful, but we have kind of grown around that. We started a little rough, and then I think we ended up, as Coach Halford was saying, at sectionals, we ended up doing really well. And I'm very proud of these ladies and how far we came as a team, starting from what we did back in August, and then they actually came together and they became a team. And they worked together. And overall, as a team, I'm very proud of them. We were within 20 points of taking third place overall in the section as a team, which is quite the feat. We took 6 last year, so to be that close from third. Southern Cuba just came right in and took it right at the last event. It was that close. So it was really exciting to see how they grew through these few months. So, and I'm very proud of all of them for doing that. Well, we got a few awards to hand out here. So the first person we're going to embarrass is Miss Abigail. Get up here, Abby. If anyone knows me, I can't stop. So Spellcheck is my best friend. Anyway, Abby, she drove for several of the meets, and then she's like, I kind of like swimming. So then we're like, okay. And then we made a breaststroke out of her, and she made tops of skiing in the 100 breaststroke, which she was surprised. She was like, I did what? And we're like, Abby, you're 15. What? And she ended up staying right there at 15, which is a very big accomplishment in the breaststroke. Especially after that one meet, right, Abby? Abby had one meet where luckily the official wasn't looking, and she dove in for the 100 breaststroke, started swimming freestyle. Knew she did it, looked up, looked at me, goes, what do I do? And I said, keep swimming. And she did, and she finished, and no one said anything, so we don't say nothing. Okay? So, Coach Hillis helped me with this award here. Abby's getting the uh-oh award because she says that a lot. Uh-oh. All the time. So, uh-oh, I just did that. Uh-oh. All right, so congratulations, Abby. You had a great season. We look forward to having you again. All right. Taylor Sales. This is in no order. It's literally just how I had to be. All right. Taylor, we had a very interesting season.
Yeah.
Taylor came in, she's like, I got this, she's going to swim the 100 IM, she was going to swim the breaststroke, she was going to do all these things. The 200 IM, sorry, I said 100, whatever. She's going to swim, and then we ended up having some health problems. Some complicated issues, and we didn't know what was going on. And partially of that was because I was making her do stuff that she normally didn't do because we had some other injuries on the team. So she was kind of compensating. And it's okay. It's okay. I give Taylor credit because she toughed through it. And even though she was hurting, she still kept going. Eventually, so we're very proud of what she did, girls. We're very proud of what she did. And then we finally got her checked out. They told her what was wrong. We were able to rest her a little bit. And then she ended up coming back at sectionals, finishing in the top 16 in the 50 freestyle. And then also finishing in the top 8 in the 100 breaststroke. Okay? Very, very nice. So, I gave Taylor, this is my Coach Star Awards, everyone, that I give out. And Taylor, you're getting the Purple Heart Award because you were fighting through everything and you still did it. So, congratulations. Sophie Shepard. Sophie, another interesting, we had different combinations of events. And we started off swimming the IM, then we figured out that wasn't really a good idea. And then we started doing the 50 free, and then all of a sudden, she goes to 29, which is like really good. And I'm like, Sophie, where'd that come from? So then that became her event, the 50 freestyle. I'm like, okay. And then she had me a little bet with Tessa. She's like, and Tessa did not like this, by the way. She's like, I'll swim the 200 IM if Tessa swims the 200 IM in the last meet. And I said, okay, we'll do that. And then they both ended up doing it. I'm pretty sure you ended up winning that event, didn't you? Both do it? You did really well. All right. You did really well in it regardless. All right. But Sophie has this evil laugh.
Oh, she does.
When she's being Sophie down in the shower and not necessarily doing what she's supposed to do, all of a sudden you hear this evil cackle. And I'm like, what is Sophie up to? And then I could also find Sophie throwing someone else under the water. So Sophie's getting the award for the evil jumping queen.
I think you're underestimating her just a little bit. Just a lot. Yeah.
So, congratulations, Sophie. You ended up going to sectionals and you finished in the top 16 in the 50 freestyle and in the 100 breaststroke. So, great job on that. You did massive improvements in Bolton Road. And you were also on 11 relay and in the all right. So, great job. All right. All right. Kaylee Lockwood. All right, Kaylee. I've known Kaylee for a very long time. She lives right next door to my parents' house, so I've known Kaylee since she was born. So it was nice to come in and be Kaylee's coach this year. Well, Kaylee came in and she was swimming the 100 freestyle. That's her event. She loves the 100, she loves the 100, she loves the 100. And I'm like, okay. And in practice, she was going and doing the arts, and I was like, Kaylee, why don't we try the 200? She's like, okay, so I wasn't really sure about it. And then she tried it, and then she liked it. Okay? And she kept swimming. She was pretty good at it. And then I kept saying, Kaylee, why don't you show the 5? And she's like, I don't know about that. And I know her mom was like, I don't know about that. And then it finally got to a point where we were doing something, and Kaylee goes, put me in the 500. She said it just like that. And I'm like, okay. And I get up to smile. I told Mom, I pre-warned her. So she's doing the 5. And then she did it. He did pretty well. And then the next week, she's like, let's try it again. Because she liked it. At least I think she liked it. So she's getting the addicted to distance award because she tasted it a little bit how she liked it. So, congratulations, Tina. You did well in your 200. She ended up being the alternate for the 200 freestyle at sectionals. If anyone knows, if you're ranked 18 or 17 in sectionals, you have to come back as an alternate because if someone doesn't swim, you're out. So she had to come back and she was all ready to go, and then the event happened and she didn't have to get in. So she was happy about that, but also disappointed. But next year we're going to get up with that. So congratulations, Kaylee, and all of that. have Coach Ellis talk a little bit more about that.
Alice, Maddie's been diving now for, this is your third year, and I tell you what, that was between quarantine and starting the season late, did really well. I mean, we got to sectionals, and she had 11 dives. It was her first 11 dive meet, and I threw 2 new dives at her, a double, which is a 2.2, and an inward 1.5, which is a 2.2. Those are 2 big dives. And Miss Maddie didn't really like practicing them, but she knew, and we knew she could do it because we've seen her do it before. And she did really well. She had right over here. I'm very excited to see your season next year. I really am. There's a lot of talent here. Not the, maybe you're talking about eyes. This one gives me dirty looks on the diving board all the time. And I get, a typical teenage girl, like, I'm not doing that. I don't think so. So sometimes practice can be a little challenging. I'm trying to get through her list, but the talent's there, and very proud of Miss Maddie. She's definitely stubborn to us, but so am I. So we kind of have that loving relationship, that mother-daughter thing that I'm going to win on this one. So and she's like, maybe not. So that's kind of our relationship in our season this past year. But she did an excellent job. Came in second at sectionals, and very proud of that 11 dive lineup and your 11 dive meet. First one ever, and there's many more to come. So awesome job.
On top of that, okay, she would also randomly get thrown into a relay, especially if we had some injuries or quarantines all happening at one time, and I was already freaking out in my room trying to figure out how to redo the lineup for the 10th time, because that happened pretty much, every meet, girl? Yeah. Every morning the girls would walk in, what are we going to do? So-and-so's hurt. What are we going to do? So-and-so just got quarantined. And it's just like, well, what am I going to do? So-and-so just walked in on crutches. So-and-so just walked in with a boot. Okay? And I'm like, here we go. Every day is interesting in this team. Okay? But Maddie would come in and I'd say, Maddie, you're 750 free. Why? And I'm like, because I need you to. Fine. Maddie, you're 100 free. But I don't like the 100 free. I'm like, we need to do it. Fine. But she would just do it anyway. But as Coach Ellis said, she took second place in sectionals, which is awesome. So I decided I always do one of these, just like Coach Helfrich does one. I do a Rookie of the Year, and it's by choice, and Maddie is this year's Rookie of the Year. So, that's off. Tessa did really well this year, and she did really well right at the end. She was very consistent with her times every single time. She's from the same time. I could always count on Tessa from the same batch each time. She'd come in, we said, I'm like, Tessa, you were good at the 200. Let's do the 200. She did the 200. And then eventually it's like, Tessa, let's do the 500. Well, I think she wanted to kill me because one of the meetings she started the 500, and she did the 200 freestyle relay, and then she did the 100 back. And yet she still got really good time. So that's impressive right there. But then when we got to sectionals, she spent it pretty much. She got her regular. She actually dropped the sections from her normal time. And then we get to finals on Saturday. And what does this one do? She dropped 2 more seconds to go 118 and 100 backstroke. And I looked at that one. So she comes up to me and she goes, I felt like being fast today. So, I was about, you need to feel like being fast every day. So, Tessa's giving me the award for I felt like it today. Because she felt like swimming fast on Saturday, and she did. And she ended up doing really well on her backstroke, and next year we're going to get you up to the top 8.
She did better than 8 points. So,
alright, so congratulations, and great job every season. Alright, now on to our sophomores. Okay, our next one we got is Miss Jasmine Mallet. it. Jasmine also started off the season very interesting. Did she not tell us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
So,
had the boo-boo year. You were on the top of the list.
so, anyway. So Maddie comes in, she ended up having a shoulder issue going on, and we're like, okay, she can't really swim. All right, well, Jasmine, why don't we try diving? Okay, so then she gets up to 40. Well, because you couldn't do anything else.
You're welcome.
Okay? And she ended up doing really well. She ended up diving in all of her meets and did really, really well. And next year we're going to get you to get all those dives in so that way you can continue to, yeah, you can 2 more dives to get to that 11 dive meet. And I think you'll get there. Right? You were really close. All right? So, it seemed like every single time we would look up, Jasmine was over on the side of the pool with the med kit. If she did something, or she had an ice pack or whatever, or we would be like, where's Jasmine? And all the girls would be like, she's with the trainer. And we're like, why is Jasmine with the trainer? I don't know, she hurt herself again.
I don't think it was the trainer.
She was there a couple times.
Twice a day.
So, Jasmine, who did all that, and she would get into a relay from time to time if I could convince her that she was so good. And she would, and she'd do it. Jasmine's going to get the trainer's best friend award because she was always with the athletic trainer getting fixed somehow, and she ended the season hopefully non-injured. So, congratulations, Jasmine. Emily Wilson.
Hey, wait.
That's not Emily.
Wrong Wilson.
I have both girls.
I just grabbed the one that said Wilson.
I didn't realize you were
This one. All right. So Emily Wilson. Emily came back on the team this year. We were lucky to have her again. And she came in and she wanted to go backstroke. She could come in there and do that and swim her event. We got her to successfully do a flip turn, which was awesome, which is quite the feat if you don't know how to do it correctly coming in. We're still working on that start though. We'll get there. We were close. Very close. We're gonna get there. Anyway. Okay. You were close. You almost had it. Alright? So that way we can do it. But she was really good at backstroke, so we could count on her for that. But Emily was notorious for always asking me what time it was. Every single, I could always count on Emily to be like, what time is it? I'll be like, Emily, it was 5 minutes ago that it was 4 o'clock. It's like, you got time. You'll be fine. Alright, so Emily's getting the award for K or S. Because, what time is it? So what time is it? Okay. So congratulations, Emily. Great job. Okay? Tammy came back to us this year, and we're all very happy that she did because she was missed by some of the people on the team. And Tammy, you know, just like something interesting with Tammy. Something happened, someone told a joke, and then I just see Tammy like laying on the floor because she's laughing so hard at whatever just happened or whatever she said or did. And then she got her nickname, Rabbit. Because I looked over and there's Tammy hopping down the pool deck for whatever reason, I don't know why. So I was just like, okay, Rabbit, let's go. So that's how she got her nickname. So, alright, Rabbit. But Tammy gets the award, and sorry, I shouldn't say talk about her swimming. She did really well on everything that she did. She ended up having a 53, which was really well. And I got her to swim the butterfly in the relay. That was an accomplishment. Yeah, she did it. The one time you did it, she did it. Yeah, she did it, and she did pretty well at it. So we're going to keep working. You did well. You did really well. All right? But I can always count on Tammy to give us a laugh. Okay? So Tammy gets the award for most likely to make you smile. Gabby. I love you. If I could give an award for most yards traveled, it would be Gabby. Because every meet, without fail, except for one, 200, 500, 4 free relay, 2 free relay. Every time. Every single meet. She must get bored. Because that's what she swims. 200, 500, 2 free relay, 4 free relay. Every single meet. But why does she swim that? Because she's good at it. And Gabby ended up placing 4th place in the 200 freestyle at sectional. which is quite a feat, and I know she wants to win next year, so we're going to work towards that. And then in the 500, you ended up placing fourth as well. So, even more so. So, really great job there. We worked on a lot of techniques with Gabby to really fix her stroke, and I think with a lot more refinement and work, you're going to get really good with it. So, really great job with that. But Gabby's award that I got for her today is actually inspired by Gabby, because you said it at sectional after your last race. What did I say? After her last race, the 4-3 relay, and they did really well, they came up to her and said, "You kidding, you're finished, okay?" And she goes, "Okay, yeah, me and my grandma knees." Because Gabby's been fighting some knee injuries all season, and you know what? She toughed through it, and she kept going, and she still did well, even with what she had to deal with. And what's the word I'm looking for? I commend you for that. She did that, even though sometimes she wouldn't tell me, but she would. I could tell, and you know what? We ended up doing that really well. So, Gabby, you get the grandma award for your grandma knees. So, good you said that. So, congratulations, and hopefully you
Why did you throw the cup?
Stephanie. So we've had Stephanie here for several years now, and
Fourth year. It's her fourth year. Oh yeah, it's her.
This is our 5th year up on varsity, and had a little bit late of a start, and then we were gone for a little bit, but that's all right. We're here, happy to have her now, and she's all here. And one thing, yeah, she saw her work. One thing, again, Stephanie is also a laugh, because she'll do something or she'll wear a weird thing to get in the pool, and we're like, what is she doing? And that's Stephanie. So, but the one thing we could count on for Stephanie was she would go to the back closet, because she found out where we hid the fireball candies, and she would just take fistful, put them at the end of her lane, and then the next thing out, she's like eating like popcorn. She chews them. It's like,
so she actually would have gotten anyway, place.
So she's getting the Fireball Queen Award this year, because literally that's all she did was eat fireballs. So, all right, great job, Stephanie.
So you're still right with it.
Congratulations.
I think it would be good.
What's her name? Varsity coach?
Let's see.
All right, Josie.
I don't know the girl. He's supposed to be Charlie, but he's not.
No, the one that you saw. We were.
Right. I don't know her name.
I think
She's
it
like
starts
kind
with
of.
a T.
If you figure it out.
All right, Josie. We're glad that you were able to get here today.
Tessa might be
And,
at club too.
Josie, I think she's been, I don't know, fighting everything once in a while. I feel bad for this girl, because I think she's got quarantined like 3 or 4 times already this year. And luckily she's still here, she's in one piece, and she's healthy. And we thank everybody for that. And I felt so bad for her. We're literally a half an hour away from sectionals, and she got quarantined the day of prelims. So, and we know she missed it, and we missed having her there. Josie is always a bundle of fun. She helps keep some of the other girls in line sometimes. It's kind of fun to watch. So we can count on Josie to do that. Be like, get over here, do that. Okay. And Josie never complains about her events, though.
Ever.
Take notes.
She does not complain that I put her in the 500 and the 200 IM.
Complaining is part of my personality.
Okay? She doesn't complain about it. She'll talk to me later. She's like, can I swim this instead? I'm like, yeah, Josie, let's switch it up a little bit. But Josie was always the go-to, be like, Josie, I need someone from the 500. She's like, I got you. Josie, I need someone from the 200 IM. I got you. Oh, okay. You know, Josie, I need you from the 100 fly because no one else wants to swim it besides Marissa. Oh, okay. And sometimes Josie was the only one because Marissa was out for a little bit. And Josie handled it all really well, and she did well. So Josie's getting the, oh, okay, because she would just say, oh, okay, I'll do it. So you get the, oh, okay award. So you did really well, and I wish you could have swam in sectionals because I know you would have done really well. So congratulations. Olivia, what are we doing here today?
Hey, Star, did this...
Olivia, do you know what time this thing starts?
I don't know if you spent time last year.
Olivia, is your coat blue or white? If you see, there's a trend here. Olivia is the queen of questions. Because I can always count on Olivia going, wait, what did you just say? After I just explained this very long, complicated set that everyone else learned. Then Olivia goes, can you say that again? And I'm like, no.
Don't look at me. That was
Okay. Everyone kept looking at me. And Olivia, can I swim yet? Can I go yet? And Olivia with her emails. She did it tonight. What time? What time does it start? What
time does the banquet start, though? I don't know.
Sorry, she did it 2 years in a row.
So I changed it up a little bit.
I know.
So
That's why I mean.
Olivia's getting, actually, I should talk about yourself first. We'll get there. Okay. Olivia did really well this year. She ended up being an alternate in the 50 freestyle, and she was in the 400 free relay and did really well. She also swam the 100 free. She also swam the 200. Did you swim the 5? No. I did. All right. But she also swam the 100 breaststroke, which she usually swims, but this year was like, can I just swim freestyle? And I'm like, you know what? Let's try it. And she ended up doing really well in those events. Very consistent in her times, which any coach can ask for, because then I can know if I put her in this event, I can count on her to get that time, so I know she'll be able to get this place. That's very nice to know with a coach. So Olivia is reliable in that matter, but she might ask me 5 times what her lane is, which is, I'm sure Aiden got those questions all the time, did he not? Oh, yeah.
How many yards in 200 medley relay?
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one. How many yards is the 200 freestyle? 200.
Literally.
Okay, so Olivia's getting the 20 questions award because, and I should have put 20 plus because it's usually more than that. Because she likes to ask many questions, but we like having Olivia around because even though she asks questions, she's fun to have around and a great teammate. So great job, Olivia. Victoria. Victoria. We can count on Tori to do whatever. Tori ended up last season getting really injured, and she's still fighting that same injury. And we were gonna make fun of her a little bit because she always walks around with her roller. Because she does her PT exercises to fix her leg with her roller. She always got to stretch out before the meet, otherwise
We're done.
Go very well.
I was suggesting it to be your Whoopi award.
I was going to call it her buddy award. But Tori is also kind of notorious of just saying, listen, this is how it's going to be done and this is how it's going to work. Because I have Tori in class. That's how she works. She's like, listen, no, this is the way it's going to get done. And she just ends it. So, being polite, she gets the No Bull Award because she doesn't take nothing. And she'll tell someone like it is. And she did really well this season. She got in the top 16 in the 100 backstroke again.
It's such a pretty color.
See, there's some pretty red.
Yeah.
And she did really well. She got more time, which is really good. And we're hoping that Tori can use her off season this year to get herself really ready to go for next season because I think she'll do really well in that. So we can get you back in the 100 fly.
Yes!
No.
Yes! And not the IM. Don't get me started.
See? Told you. Her one fix. All right. Congratulations, Tori, and we're glad to have you. All right, before we get to our seniors, I have to recognize this one junior. This one junior who won't stop talking over here. You guys know this. Marissa, get up here. Marissa had a very interesting swim season, to say the least. She started off real strong. She had a lot of goals she wanted to do. She wanted to get a lot of things. She wanted to do this. She wanted to do that. And then the one meet happened and we hit a little bit of a roadblock. We re-injured ourselves from a previous season. And that wasn't fun, was it?
Nope.
Instead of swimming practice, we had Marissa over in lane 6 doing aquatherapy on the mat, which was quite the sight.
No.
And she hated it because it took her, like, a half an hour to swim at 200 or something like that.
It took me 30 minutes to do 20 laps, a 500.
She was not very happy about that. She's like, I can do this in like an eighth of the time. And I'm like, Marissa, you're
She kicked us out of lane 6 to do it, too.
and on the float. Anyway, but then we got her back. And then she ended up being like, I don't want to swim that event. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. it's like, Marissa, you got to rip the Band-Aid off here eventually, okay? And I think coming to the last meet, it was CV, and I went up to you, your mom, because you were like that, and I said, Mom, I think she should swim both of her normal events because she needs to swim them in order to get over this. And then she did it, and then she was like, oh yeah, I did great, and whatever. So that's Marissa for you. And then comes sectionals. You know, we're not expecting too much. She comes in. The rankings weren't great looking at it. She was up there where she usually was, but she wasn't in the best time. She came into the 100. She came into the IM. You were ranked what, 8th or something?
I was
like
ranked
that?
6th.
6th. She was ranked 6th in the IM, and she was ranked 2nd in the 100 fly. Coming into this premium. Okay, she was ranked 6th in the IM and 2nd in the 100 fly. Well, she comes in, and she ended up coming in the IM, still coming in right around the same area, which is good. And we were looking at, okay, what can we do? And then she swims the flies, and it did really well. You know, she was the fastest one in her heat. We're like, okay, but the girl who was ranked number 1 was in the 2nd heat. And then Marissa's sitting there in the warm-up pool, and I'm standing right next to her.
Yelled at by Healthy.
Do your cool down.
But I was telling her to watch this, and I wanted her to see who she was swimming with against. And then the other girl comes in, and Marissa's ranked 1st. And we both, I think we looked at each other like 4 or 5 times, like, did that just happen? Because the girl swam 2 seconds slower than her best time. So we were like, whoa, what just happened there? And Marissa, by the way, had dropped 3 seconds. So it was already an impressive drop. So we come into it, we're like, okay, well, let's see what we can do here. Come to the IM. At sectionals, she ended up taking 3rd place. Getting awesome time, getting up on the podium, getting a medal. And then in the 100 fly, she listened to me, which is a miracle in itself, everybody. Okay? She listened to a correction, and she fixed her stroke, and she ended up beating the other girl by a body length. And won the 100 fly, and is the Section 4 champion for the 100 butterfly. With the best time of a 103. So that's
It was a 103.40.
Okay, 103.40. Excuse me.
Said she won the 100 breast. Yeah, I'd like to say I did not win the 100 breast. If
What?
You know, I suck at her.
Which
So
is what
bad.
we kind of fixed in the IM. But anyway, we know what we're going to fix, and she wants to be
This is
repeat
like
champion in the butterfly, so you got to keep that up. So,
That's bad.
but in practice, if I didn't play the music right away while we were swimming, it was the end of the world. It was, I'm not swimming until you start playing music. Fine, I go put on the music. She's still not getting in the water, by the way. And then she finally gets in. And then eventually she's like, Star, I want to play my own music. Okay, fine, go put on your music. Then she puts it on my phone so that way we can have it and I can just control it. But Marissa gets the swim team DJ award because she made our playlist for warm up. She made all that stuff. So congratulations, Marissa. Well done. All right, now on to ours.
Was wet by 4 o'clock. It was a miracle.
All right. We got our two. Oh, sorry, Aaron, I got one for you, but I wanted that one. I wasn't sure you were going to be here. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I will give it to Emily so you have it, okay? All right. All right. So.
Do Eve guns for me longer?
Okay, I'll do Eve last. Okay. They said so, so I guess I got to do it. Allison Dow. Yeah, Allison. So I'm not going to lie, Hillis gave me the idea for this one.
That's
Because Maddie can attest to it, because this happens literally every practice. And it meets sometimes. Okay? So Allison came into swimming the first time last year. She was a gymnast, came in, she wanted to try it, and we told her we should do diving, and she did. And then she came in this year, and she got 2nd place last year in diving, which is a great job for her. Coming into this season, we're like, okay, Allison, let's keep going. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay, and then she's swimming. She's doing the 100 backstroke. She's doing the 50 free. She's doing whatever she can. Not the fly, though. You don't want to see her butterfly.
No, you're not.
You don't want to see her. Breaststroke is okay, but you don't want to see it. She would not be an IMer. I know there's a lot of you modified girls who are good to be IMers, and I'm looking for all of you later. So she is not one of those. Okay? But that's okay. We still love her anyway. All right? So she came in this
You
year
already beat her in the 100, so.
doing her thing, and while Marissa was the DJ,
She was good to dance. So.
Allison was the dancer.
He just
Because Allison would be up on that diving board putting on the show, whether she's doing a handstand or dancing or doing whatever. I could always count on her if I was doing something funky on the side. She'd be like, hey. Okay? So, Allison gets the Dancing Queen Award. Because she was always dancing up there on the diving board regardless. And I'm pretty sure I saw you bust a couple moves while I was watching the live stream in section. So, probably. Alright, and she ended up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, the Section 4 Class C diving champion this year. So, congratulations, Allison, and we look forward to seeing what you do in the future. Good luck for your future. Congratulations.
Smart choice.
Great job. Alright. Our last corner of the evening. Eve Ginty. So Eve also kind of had a little bit of a rough road. He's been fighting a couple back issues and arm issues, and she's got some issues. But hey, it's okay because I was nice to a lot of you. So, but Eve knows, and we've been getting through that. So, regardless, whatever's happening, she would be there when she could, and she would do what she can. She'd go to the trainer, she'd go do yoga on the side, doing things that she could do. But when she was in the water, I think like every time I turn around, I look over and be like, Eve, swim. Eve, swim. Okay? Because sometimes I'm like, Eve, hey, power to her. She was still getting some good times there, and then I think we got a little nervous when we got a little slower, and then we started doing a little bit more. So, Eve's getting the award for the least yards travel. We'll be honest here. Eve was probably standing there telling the other girls to go, which she was really good at, by the way.
Yeah.
And she was getting pretty good at that. When, if she was hurting or doing whatever, which I'm okay with, and she did it. But you know what? She did it. She made it through. She ended up placing in the top 16 in the 100 free, top 16 in the 50 free, and she was in the 2 and 4 free relays. So
Which got fourth finally?
which got fourth and then fifth.
No.
Sixth. Whatever.
What?
The 4 free relay.
Fourth.
Thank you, Marissa. You weren't even in the room.
I was thinking about it.
Okay. I know. Now you know what I've been dealing with all night. All right, so great job, Eve. We look forward to seeing what you do in the future, and congratulations. Okay, before we're finished up here, we're almost done, I promise. Okay, I have to recognize two gentlemen. One is not here tonight, so I recognized him earlier. Okay, Aiden, get up here. Evan O'Brien and Aiden Hopkins were our two swim team managers for girls varsity, and trust me, these boys deserve a medal.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do.
Medal for taking 6 hours to hang up pool noodles across the
They
ceiling.
would do whatever I needed them to do. I mean, Coach Humberg was talking about Liam, and Aiden and Evan, they're like my right-hand men. They'll go and do whatever I need them to do. Whether they liked it or not was another story, but they would go do it. I'd be like, Aiden, I need you to clean out the closet because the girls made it a mess again.
Oh my God.
Okay?
What are you doing?
I have one more.
Anybody. Okay?
Oh, that's
So they would go and they would do everything. And sometimes the girls would be like, well, let's have fun with them. So we had a couple fun times where they kind of like put, dressed them up for the weird days that we did during taper and all the other fun stuff. Or they'd be like, Aiden, if you get in to do this, like I have a very fond memory of the girls. I said, girls, we have 3 choices. One of them involves Aiden having to get in and do something that he's not going to like, and then you can do the other one. And then they chose that one, so Aiden had to get in. And he just did it because he did it for them to help out. So Aiden's award is the Do It For The Ladies award, because he did it for the ladies. So, great job, Aiden. Evan got the award for home run, because Evan would take Tori's roller and play baseball with Lee on the pool day. Every day. So Evan got the home run award, because I'm pretty sure he hit Coach Phyllis once. And she was not very happy about
that. Well, was that the whole run, or was that just like a...
I don't think that was the home run. I feel like that was the strikeout.
I just want to tell the parents, Aiden was such, do it for the ladies, and they put a bikini top on him.
And it looked good.
I got
Put on a full suit. His nails painted. It was amazing.
He's been through a lot, okay? So he deserves your medal. Okay?
No, we're finding this.
So he did really well. All right, here's your award. I got him a little gift. I got Evan a gift too. And girls, you know, his nickname is the Banquet. Evan, I got 2 squirt guns as his gift. And Ingrid, for your award, you got a pair of goggles. Okay? Jake's gift card.
For how much?
To help pay for part of the suit. And then Aiden found my equipment bag and said, can I use these? They are paddles, but they're gloves. And he loves them.
Those things
So
are so
these are really nice. So
they're pedals, but you put them
you
on
got
as
your own
gloves
pair
and you
now.
like swim
So,
with your fingers.
congratulations, Aiden. Thank you very
They're
much.
really
My last award I'm going to give out. I thought I had
I
to,
think I'm
but I
making
guess
a
I
group
don't.
now from Costco.
It's because we had something happen on the bus back in Freeland.
She said I'm leaving at my own.
Hey, this is kind of funny. We're
They
gonna
do a lot of
see
it for the scholarships.
So, all I know is Hillis and I are up in the front on our way back from walking to Glen talking about what. And then Allison runs up to the front of the bus with her phone saying, "Start! You got to see this! You got to see this!" And the next thing she's showing us is a picture of Marissa and Maddie huddled up together in the bus seats sleeping. It was the most funny sight I have ever seen.
What?
And we did not expect that one bit. And it was just funny. So the cutest couple award goes to Maddie and Marissa.
This is after them having to stop and pick me up because I broke down.
Girls, I just want to say, modified, watching you at Oleana, that was your sectional, was incredible. It was amazing that we didn't have to peel Coach Helfrich off the ceiling or out of the pool because he was just beside himself. But he definitely, you girls were there for him, and you made that work for your season to be undefeated. You ladies, I tell you what, we had a rough season with injuries and with quarantine and this and that when we were going to sectionals, and I'm like, man, we're going to need all the luck we use. And I tell you what, the girls did awesome. You brought time. You came to, yes, the times were incredible. That everyone came to finals, and there was no doubt that Wayne Sport showed up. The girls showed up at sectionals, and everyone knew that we were there.
I don't think you were the loudest cheering section I've ever
So, kudos. I mean, both teams, you finished strong, and you finished with, showing close pride, and we're all proud of you. And, you can see the jackets we handed out tonight were for the freshmen. I hope everyone, varsity, you can wear your jackets on Friday to show our sisterhood.
We're all wearing our shirts.
Friday.
Friday.
So, this is what you get when you become a freshman.
This is what you have to look forward to next year.
Hey, I work.
So, again, I want to say before I turn this over to Tori and Marissa, because I know they're waiting over there very patiently. Again, great job. And parents, we only want to thank you because you guys were a great support system with everything, all the questions that you had and asking us things. Just helping the girls with different things. No questions asked for the most part. There were a lot of stuff just like, okay, we'll get them there. Okay, we'll get this done. So really, thank you, parents, for being that support system for the girls, because we know, this is as much as you do, that they're a handful, and they can be, and I'm sure they're just as big of a handful at home, if not more. So thank you for your support to get them here, to get them to practice on the weekends, in the summer practices, all that, because I know how much work that goes into that, and it really helps us when we have very supportive parents. So thank you so much. And without further ado, I turn it over to Tori and Marissa.
I have Star for band, so he's known me for like 3 years now. I kind of know his taste, Not women. Oh, you should grow. Never had.
Not true.
When was the last time? Like 6 years ago? We got you.
so before we get going, before we leave, Coach Helper said this a lot. We do have a really good and growing girls program here, and we look forward to it. When we can get the new pool in 2 years, construction will be starting very soon, next spring. So we will be looking forward to having our alumni back when we can welcome you in the new pool. And parents, if you're a freshman, you'll most likely be swimming in it. So, or it's modified. So really look forward to that. We got a couple years, but as I'm saying that, we do have some very strong swimming, regardless of where we're swimming next year, because we will have a team and we're still going to stay strong together. Okay? I highly recommend, Coach Helfrich said this, that you girls try to do whatever swimming you can. I recommend going to the Chenango Valley Club. Okay? Go there and get some extra training. It always helps to get something from a different coach. That's why you'll see Coach Hillis come on and say something about one of your strokes, or Coach Helfrich will say something, or I'll say something. We all give our opinions because the more opinions you get, the more different things you might learn. So Coach Helfrich says they got 5 other coaches over there that know stuff. Okay, again, they've been coaches for just as much as you know. I've been definitely been coaching as much as I've been on. Okay, so they've been doing a lot of work over there, and I highly recommend going over there, getting some extra yardage if anything, just swimming. Okay, even some of the boys, I know that they've been going swimming at the YMCA. Finding a pool to swim in, if there's open swim, go to it. Do something. Don't just go without swimming from now until August. I highly don't recommend that. And we've had a lot of progress, especially on the varsity, a lot of drinking, and I know we can go further next year. You modified girls, you're just starting. And those of you who are coming to 8th grade, you're up here now. It's your time to be up here. All right? And I highly recommend doing something, doing anything. Whether it's just staying safe or doing another sport, or, like I said, going to the Y, going swimming, joining the club. Do whatever you can to stay active so that you're ready to go come August when we start doing stuff for summer camp. So, again, thank you, everybody. I don't know if Coach Helfrich or Coach Ellis has anything else to say.
I just want to thank the parents for all the fundraising that we've been doing. I know that the coffees are over there, and that was actually a nice touch around the holidays. And
We raised $1,600 on the
yeah, Evan's not here today, Cam, but for his family to help us with that fundraiser and with the Chenango Fork swim team stickers and everything on it. It was really a nice personal touch. And I know that we're going to have more fundraising in the future. I'd like to get back to the beer tree, and I did find out that they're not doing the hockey tournament this year because that was a really nice, jump in the beer tree. Yeah. But we're going to still continue working on that, and with the boys season coming in, I know the boys help the girls, and the girls help the boys, so we're not going to overwhelm you until probably after the holidays, just because everyone's got a full plate right now, but we'll pick back up on it, in mid-season with the boys. But I just want to thank the parents for all their support, and I know, because I'm one of those parents that sold stuff for my swimmer, and with that, I'm also part of the program, but we all appreciate that, so thank you.
Yeah, just real quick. On that note, I wanted to thank everyone over the summer who came in and did fundraising. Big shout out to Jules. She was our winner. We had a competition to see who could sell the most coffee and cookie dough, and Jules won by a significant margin. So really happy about that. We are, again, when the boys do fundraisers, they were at the car washes with you girls over the summer. They sold as much coffee as you guys did. So we will post in Schoology groups and on Remind and send out emails and all that. The other thing, this is not a fundraiser, this is free. Parents, this also extends to you. Over the holidays every year, we have this alumni meet called the Has-Beens, which is the washed up old people like Star and I, versus the wannabes, which is you guys, okay? And we have this meet where any person...
Yeah, I beat
Forks, I was wearing jeans. Forks swimmers and their parents can come in. So, yeah, we've had Mrs. Austin get in the water. if you ever have any swimming experience, adults, you can get in. We have relays that have to go out there and remind these kids the pecking order. Okay? And this is a boys, girls, students, adults, everyone's welcome to come in. Now, again, we're going to have to get approval for this with COVID, but, they let us be here tonight. So fingers crossed they're going to let us do that. So do keep your eye out. It happens over that holiday season. Obviously, people are out of town and all that, but we do run it. And if you're in town, it's a ton of fun. We finally get to let some of the modified boys and girls that trash talk each other all year face off. Okay, you can swim in relays with your parents. You can swim in relays against your parents. I don't care. It's a ton of fun, so keep an ear to the ground for that.
You were preaching that modified enjoyed no swimming experience, but you just told these poor parents to experience the alumni.
I recommend it. All right, so I'm sorry this ran over by quite a lot. Okay, I think we're all done tonight, so great work.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, modified. If you need more time,
Okay, that's what I thought. get him an axolotl. Scar.
Yeah.
You got two, right? 2X.
Exercise manual.